Well, I said I'd be back here. Welcome this afternoon to our preview of week 2. Normally, it's going to happen a lot sooner, most likely at least 24 to 48 hours before the games happen. But this week we got a little bit tight. I said, did not expect the major hay fever to hit when it did. And so, yeah, definitely was a experience trying to do opening week and week 2 stuff all when that was going on. But the worst has passed. Hooray for us. um, yeah, my schedule going forward, this will be more right before the week begins, usually a good 1 to 2 days early. Recaps will happen, I'm hoping, be able to start getting those out the Monday right after the games. Most weeks that should very much be possible, and it should definitely be good after these first few, because the few times where I'd have to push to Tuesday are going to be sometime in the middle of April, so nothing too bad. Beyond that, I do want to start doing a power ranking starting in April. That'll, if all goes well, that'll take the Tuesday slot. I want to focus specifically on Angel City on Wednesdays with the game previews on Thursdays, and then I might split the Angel City preview off on its own and have that run on a Friday. So if that works, we'll end up doing a 5-day-a-week kind of thing with a live game over the weekend. should be a nice chance to get some dailies in. I will most likely be doing all of that recording all on the Mondays, though. My plan is to try to just run them out and then time them to release. That's going to be kind of how we do these things here. I'm also going to be slowly adding other features here. Like right now, we're in dead silence. Next week, I hope to have some background music here while I'm talking. So just look forward to the gradual change and evolution of this as we start to make it more something that, resembles things. All right, so I kind of do things a little differently when it comes to showing times, because one of the important things I think is if people want to see this, they want to know what time the game is, so they don't want to have to be thinking about, okay, what time is this actually running at? So unlike other places where they do all the times Eastern or stuff like that, if you look, I go based on whatever team is home, and I'm going to list the time based on that. And I will give the where it is because I want people in that area to know that there's a game at that time. So like today, at 5 o'clock Pacific time, but 8 o'clock Eastern time, you've got Orlando and Louisville hosting games. And then when the West Coast comes in, their game is at 7. So the doubleheader goes 5 o'clock immediately to a 7 o'clock game. But if you are on the East Coast, you're at 8 Eastern, and the Portland-Seattle game is going to run at 10 Eastern. And so to me, it's a little, if for people that are not paying attention, it is good for them to look for their game and see, okay, this is my local time. And we can start planning based on that. All right, and so, because I know there's people new to sports too. And so they aren't used to looking at things timed this way. The one I'm excited for is the one local to California here. You got the 5:45 p.m. start time for Bay and Angel City. This says 5:45, but realistically, with all the pregame stuff, it's actually going to probably start around 6. So, stuff that's happening. All right, let's talk about these previews now. So, Orlando and Denver. Orlando came off a very competitive game with Seattle that they took a 2-1 loss on. They're looking to get their win back here in their big home game here against expansion Denver, leaving the friendly confines for the first time. I think you're going to see some struggles from Denver early on, just getting their feet down. My guess is Orlando scores early. Denver gets their feet back and ends up losing probably by about 2 goals. My guess would be 2-0 or 3-1. Just depending on if Denver can put it together enough to actually register a goal here. I'm going to go on a limb and say 2-0, though, because I think Orlando will get there, too, probably in the first 35 minutes. Denver will finally have their feet back down. They're going to just try to shut them down the rest of the way and see if they can manage any goals, but it won't really happen because they won't want to take any big risks. That's how I'm kind of laying out the game. Also tonight, we have Louisville. We're racing Louisville taking on Washington Spirit. Once again, these are two teams that took close losses. Louisville took a loss to the North Carolina Courage. Louisville took that loss, and then Washington took their surprise loss, for me at least, to Portland. I would expect Washington is going to come through here and try to get themselves the 3. That said, Louisville, in their own friendly confines, should be a very much formidable team, especially offensively. So I am going to actually say this is probably going to end in a 2-2 draw. I'm going to give a point to each. Louisville is going to surprise some people here. Washington is going to be experiencing some early season woes here, only registering 1 point in 2 games, and I think you're going to see some people panic. I don't think it's something to freak out about. Once they can get a home win and they get their feet back down, things should start to be acting right. But that could be wrong there too. Like, they've got Trinity Rodman here. They just made all this big money move. And if you only have 1 point through 2 games, you might start seeing some panic in the office. Who knows? That's the flow of a season, though. And my guess is, though, both teams get their first point and they get off the schneid this upcoming day. Portland-Seattle, rivalry game, and two teams that I consider to be of similar quality right now. I think Portland has the better overall roster, but they are a little less than I would really expect from them. I'm going to actually say that Seattle sneaks by them here. I'm going to say it's going to be a 1-0 game. And the reason I'm saying that is even though both teams looked solid, both teams racked up wins on the road here, with the rain, they were playing a team of roughly equal caliber and played a balanced effort, whereas with Portland, they're playing a team that was, I think, a little bit stronger than them, and they kind of spoofed their way to it. So I feel like this is where the recoil comes back. I think they're going to not have taken as many notes on their mistakes in that game, and it's going to bite them, thinking that they are still the team they were. I think they have to be aware of their limitations at the moment, and Seattle will make them very aware of that. I'm going to say, Reign come away with a victory here. Houston and Boston. Okay. I don't know what to say on this one other than Houston might have already gotten their lucky win, and Boston might be the first team to rack up a point in the standings here of the two expansion squads. Boston looked okay against Gotham, not spectacular, but they at least look like they can hold their own against certain teams. And Houston very much was riding. They were just riding the defense and hoping that something stuck, and it did. They got a big win on San Diego. They might be able to turn this into momentum if they can get another win here. Just take a shock win, take an easy opponent. Suddenly you have 6 points, and now some people are thinking, hey, maybe this Houston team isn't too bad. I could absolutely see this team turning into that kind of mirage. I am going to go out on a limb and say Boston pulls the upset here. Obviously, Houston looks really impressive. I'm going to say it's only 1-0 because Houston's offense didn't wow me all that much. So I'm going to say, Boston kicks in their first goal, and they just are able to play the defense, and Houston's not able to really respond as well on this one. That'd be my pick for that one. Gotham and North Carolina. Okay, this one is very important because these are two teams I view in a battle for probably being the third best team in the league at the moment. Gotham is at home. They're making their debut after winning the playoffs last year. They should have a lot of people on hand there in New Jersey ready to celebrate with them. But North Carolina, I think, is better than people give them credit for. If this was in Carolina, it would be no question. Because this is going to be ring day. Gotham is celebrating with their fan base. They're going to play motivated. I'm going to say this one goes 2-1 in Gotham's favor. It's going to be competitive. I actually think Carolina is going to get on the board first, but Gotham is going to really go hard to get those goals back. And so, yeah, that's kind of my pick on this one. Bay versus Angel City. Okay, this one is another one where it's important to see how this shakes out because I need to get a firm understanding of how much better each team actually is. And they were playing expansion teams and bottom feeders last week. So this is more of a real check of their skills. Bay should be favored since they're at home, but my gut is saying Angel City's going to get this one. I think Bay showed me a little bit of limitations here. Their real success came in after the red card against Denver, which, I mean, Denver could just be a solid unit, and they're going to really surprise me against Orlando today. But I am, right now, my gut is telling me Bay is a little more limited than that first game would indicate, and Angel City is going to come away with the win here. I'm going to say this one is going to be 3-1. I will say Angel City, Tiernan gets her first goal, as well as just another spectacular day from those midfielders. They seem to really have something going there. I do think they gave up their first goal of the year, though. So I'm going to say 3-1 in Angel City's favor. Chicago and Kansas City. Okay, if Kansas City loses this game or even drops points in this game, alarm bells need to be going off because they had a rough game in week 1, and you cannot be losing over in Northwestern's stadium to Chicago. This has to be a dub, and I expect that they are going to try to make a statement out of this. I don't think it's going to... I think Chicago's going to play them tough for a while. I'm going to say it's a 2-0 loss for the Stars, but I do think they're going to be game. It's going to be a good... They might even make it through the first half scoreless, but Kansas City is going to definitely need to establish themselves and who they are to the league, and they need to make that statement by getting some goals here in Chicago's home debut back in the stadium. And all I can say for the Stars is that new stadium for Chicago Fire cannot come soon enough, and y'all need to get in on that as soon as it's ready at the 78th. All right. Finally, Utah and San Diego. This game, San Diego kind of does need this one early after a shock loss. Like, they can find themselves down pretty early. And this is another one where I think we're going to see a draw. I'm going to say again that we are going to probably look at... They had a lot of shots that just didn't work out for them. I think they do finally get one through today, but I also think Utah is going to pull one. So I'm going to give this a 1-1 draw. San Diego only with 1 point through 2 weeks. That's not what they probably wanted to hear, especially since they were playing two teams who I don't think are really going to sniff the playoff picture. So these are definitely, that's 5 points lost that they really should have had. But yeah, I think for some reason, San Diego couldn't get it done that first week, and I'm getting a sense that Utah is going to come in with a little bit of confidence after that last game, and now at home, it's going to be a difficult one for them. that's how I'm going to look at it. We'll see how I do with these picks. First time I've actually gone on air with picks, so we'll see what what this actually generates, and I'll keep track of my own record on here. I'll start keeping up in the game previews. But yeah, let's see what goes on here, and I will talk to you all hopefully during this live, unless the allergies act up again. I intend to be there for some Saturday football. All right, talk to you soon.